Hello, Hawkeyes. I'm Gary Barta, the Director of Athletics at the University of Iowa. I want to welcome you to another exciting year. We're coming off an outstanding season a year ago, winning, graduating, doing things right. For those of you who've been around, you know that's one of our slogans. I'm convinced that the best is yet to come. We have coaches who prepare you competitively. We have a staff in the Jardine Learning Center ready to assist you academically. In the Do It Right category, we have a compliance staff who stands by as a great resource to help answer questions, to troubleshoot, and to make sure that your eligibility is always intact. We have a long-standing history of doing things the right way, and you're a critical component to making sure that that continues. Again, I want to thank you in advance for all your hard work on the court, on the field, in the pool, in the mat, wherever it is that you're competing. I've had a chance to meet many of you. I look forward to making sure that during your career, I get a chance to meet all of you. Thanks in advance. On Iowa, go Hawks.
This video is an introduction to compliance and eligibility in Division I athletics at the University of Iowa. In the next few minutes, we will review areas associated with the university, the Big Ten Conference, and NCAA regulations. By doing this, we hope to make you aware of a variety of issues that directly relate to your eligibility for and participation in intercollegiate athletics. You already have been given an opportunity to review the summary of NCAA regulations containing information on eligibility, playing seasons, amateurism, financial aid, drug testing, and recruiting. This information will now be reviewed, and at the conclusion of the presentation, you will have an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have regarding the rules and regulations.
Hey Hawks, this is James from the football team. All student athletes are expected to abide by the Iowa Athletic Student Code of Conduct, which requires complete honesty in all matters. Additionally, any dishonesty relative to NCAA rules is a violation. Gambling on any college or professional sport event is strictly prohibited. Furthermore, you will be declared ineligible if knowingly provide information to individuals involved in gambling activities, solicit a bet on any intercollegiate or professional team, or participate in any other method employed by organized gambling, including but not limited to fantasy leagues, sport pools, internet gambling, or 800 numbers. The NCAA views sports gambling as a threat to the games that we all play here at Iowa. Wagering anything of value on a professional or college game can lead to serious consequences, whether it be betting on the winner of the Super Bowl or putting money on a March Madness pool. Sports wagering is seen as a counter to the core principles of NCAA sports.
Hey Hawks, this is Libby from the volleyball team. As incoming freshmen or transfers, you are required to go through the NCAA Eligibility Center amateurism process. At that time, you answered a series of questions about your participation in your respective sport. The NCAA Eligibility Center makes the original determination if you are considered an amateur in your sport. After starting college, it is your responsibility, along with the assistance from the compliance office, to maintain your amateur status in your sport. If you lose your amateur status at any time, you are automatically ineligible. Examples of activities that may affect your amateur status include the following. If you accept pay or even the promise of pay for competing in a sport, if you have any involvement with an agent, even agreeing to be represented by a particular individual after your eligibility is exhausted, if you are paid for a job you do not actually perform, or if your name or picture is used for promoting a commercial product or service, such as a high school schedule or local business ad. Again, activities that may affect your amateur status are accepting pay for a competition in a sport, involvement with an agent, being paid for a job you don't perform, or allowing your name or picture to be used for promoting a commercial product or service.
Hey Hawks, this is Izzy Dolba from the Iowa rowing team. Any student who receives aid from a source other than the University of Iowa from his or her parents or legal guardians must report it to the Iowa Compliance Office to ensure the aid or scholarships meets applicable NCAA requirements. Examples of outside aid include company or religious scholarships, booster club awards, and outside grants. Except under specific circumstances, the amount of aid you receive cannot exceed the total of a full scholarship. The following forms of outside financial aid are permissible: money from anyone whom you are naturally or legally dependent, financial aid that has been awarded to you on a basis other than athletic ability, and financial aid from a program outside your institution that meets the requirements specified in the NCAA rules and regulations. The following forms of outside financial aid must be reported to the Compliance Office: Booster Club awards, monies from community organizations, awards from your high school, company or church scholarships. Any student receiving financial aid must maintain the satisfactory progress towards graduation as defined by Iowa's Office of Financial Aid and by federal regulations.
Hey Hawks, this is Nia Britt from the Iowa track and field team. Any student athlete who has been awarded textbooks as part of their athletic scholarship will have their required textbooks ordered for them at the IMU bookstore or at the Iowa Book and Supply. During the first week of class, you should receive an email from the bookstores on your Iowa email account indicating which store the book has been ordered from and whether it is ready to be picked up. Please remember, you must return the books to the Jardine Academic Learning Center during finals week, or you will be charged for the book. If you have any questions, please contact Shauna Rawson.
Hello, ladies. I see you're offering soccer lessons to kids.
I have a daughter who's a sophomore in high school, and she would love to take lessons from some of Iowa's finest soccer players.
That's fantastic, sir. We would love to help.
Awesome. This will definitely help my daughter get recruited to Iowa.
Sir, I'm sorry, but we aren't allowed to report any recruiting information about your daughter back to our coaches.
Understandable. Actually, I would be willing to pay $200 an hour to have a D1 collegiate athlete coach my kid.
Sir, we cannot accept that. We can only accept the going rate for lessons. $20 per hour will be fine.
If you say so. I noticed on the flyer that you're having the lessons at the Coralville Soccer Complex. The Iowa soccer field is so much closer to my house than the complex. Couldn't we have the lessons there?
No, we can't. We can't use Iowa's facilities for individual lessons. It would violate NCAA rules if we did that.
Of course, I understand. My daughter is going to be so excited. We look forward to working with you.
Student athletes should notify the compliance office prior to accepting any employment during the year. If at any time during your tenure at Iowa, your employment status changes, you must notify the Iowa compliance office. Employment includes babysitting and doing odd jobs, as well as being employed at a place of business or on campus. Please remember to ask first before beginning any type of employment. In addition, it is permissible for you to conduct fee-for-lesson instruction. Please see the compliance office prior to conducting any individual lessons.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Megan Menzel, head women's golf coach. Division I student athletes may participate in a maximum of 4 seasons within a 5-year period. Any participation, no matter how minimal, will count as a season of competition. Except for specific injuries or hardships that must meet and be approved in accordance with the Big Ten and NCAA rules, even 1 minute of play or 1 inning or 1 race will be considered a season of competition. Please contact the compliance office if you have any questions. Have a great year and go Hawks!
Hey Hawks, this is Chris from the track and field team. Before a student athlete can participate in organized outside competition, such as a summer league, road race, competition with any team other than Iowa, or competition as an individual, he or she needs to seek approval from the compliance office. Always check with your coach and the compliance office prior to participation in outside competition. In the sport of basketball, no organized outside competition is permissible during your tenure at Iowa except for the limited specific circumstances such as NCAA-approved summer leagues, like prime time and game time. Written permission must be obtained from the compliance office prior to your participation in these activities. For all other sports, no organized competition is permissible during the academic year. Exceptions apply to Olympic game tryouts and competition in other specific NCAA-approved competition. Permission must be obtained from the Iowa faculty athletics representatives prior to your participation in such activities. If you compete on an outside team during the academic year without proper approval, you can be declared ineligible for the remainder of the current year and the next academic year.
The NCAA sponsors a year-round drug testing program, which is in addition to the Iowa drug testing program. NCAA rules stipulate that following your first positive drug test, you are charged with a loss of 1 season of competition, and at a minimum, you are ineligible for 1 calendar year from the date of your positive test and until you retest negative. If you test positive after your eligibility has been reinstated, the penalties vary, but are much more severe. The penalty for missing a scheduled drug test is the same as a positive drug test. You will remain ineligible until you retest negative and your eligibility has been restored by the NCAA Student Athlete Reinstatement Committee. If you are declared ineligible as a result of a positive drug test and you wish to transfer, Iowa is required to notify the new institution of your ineligible status. If you test positive by a non-NCAA organization, you must notify the athletics department of the positive test. You must also permit the NCAA to test you for the banned drugs. Be especially careful about over-the-counter dietary supplements and performance enhancements. While these products are not per se banned, they may very well contain an illegal ingredient and cause you to test positive. Be sure to check with a strength conditioning coach and/or athletic trainer before taking any medication or supplement to avoid jeopardizing your eligibility. A list of banned drugs can be found in the NCAA manual, on the NCAA website, or in the Iowa Athletics Training Room. You are required to sign the drug testing consent forms prior to participation in intercollegiate athletics. A positive test equals loss of 1 season of eligibility and ineligible for 1 calendar year minimum. A second positive test equals more severe penalties. Missing a scheduled drug test is the same as testing positive. If you test positive and want to transfer to another institution, Iowa is required to notify the new institution of your positive drug test. If you test positive by a non-NCAA organization, you must notify the Iowa Athletics Department of the positive drug test. A list of banned drugs can be found at www.ncaa.org or on the Iowa Athletic Compliance website at www.hawkeyesports.com.
Hey Hawks, this is Nikki Youd from the Iowa gymnastics team. Did you know when your sport is in season, your coach may only require you to participate in athletically related activities for a maximum of 20 hours per week, no more than 4 hours a day with at least 1 day off per week. Practice may not be required following a competition. Voluntary activities are not included in these limits. However, if your coach is present during the voluntary activity, the time spent in the activity must count towards your hours for the week. A safety exception applies to this rule for events in track, gymnastics, swimming and diving, wrestling, and rowing. A coach may be present in these sports during voluntary workouts to provide safety instruction only.
Good evening, Hawks. This is Lainey Snyder from the Iowa women's gymnastics team. Did you know when your sport is out of season, your coach may ask you to participate in a maximum of 8 hours of strength and conditioning activities? Your coach may require individual instruction from a coaching staff member while your sport is considered out of season. However, these individual lessons may not exceed 2 hours of the 8-hour maximum per week. Countable athletically related activities include practice, weightlifting, conditioning,
Athletically related meetings, chalk talks, film review.
Non-countable activities include dressing and showering after practice, time spent in the training room, study hall, academic meetings, fundraising, and promotional activities. Hey Hawks, this is Angel Metcalf from the Iowa Women's Gymnastics team. Did you know that it's the responsibility of your coach to monitor the practice hours for your sport and maintain the appropriate records? The Compliance Office uses the ACS software application to monitor each team's weekly care logs. Student athletes will be asked to confirm their weekly practice hours. The athletics compliance staff will be providing more information on CARA to our new Hawkeyes at our new student transition seminars this fall semester.
Will this be all for you?
Yes, please.
Do you have your student ID? We're running a promotion right now where students get 15% off of everything in the pro shop. Oh, you're Sam Moret from the men's golf team. You're having a heck of a season this year. You don't need to worry about paying for any of this. It's on us.
Thank you, but I can't accept that. It would be against NCAA rules.
I insist. We'll call it the Sam Moret discount.
That is very generous, but I can't receive a discount that isn't available to all students.
Fine. We'll charge it to the athletic director's account. Mr. Bardo wouldn't mind, would he?
No, I need to pay for this. If I don't, the school and I could get in a lot of trouble.
Understood. Can I still give you the normal student discount?
Of course. If it's available to all Iowa students, then student athletes can get it too. A student athlete who receives an extra benefit can be declared ineligible. An extra benefit is a receipt of a product or service which is not authorized by the NCAA, is not incidental to your participation in athletics, or is not available to all students at Iowa. For example, you may receive certain academic services such as tutoring and advisors. Also permissible are certain medical services such as training room and team physicians, travel expenses directly related to your participation in athletics, and an occasional meal provided by a coaching staff member. Examples of extra benefits include cash from departmental staff or Iowa boosters, use of a car from an athletics department staff member or Iowa booster, gifts from athletics department staff members and Iowa boosters, discounts for products and services for being a student athlete that are not available to all Iowa students. It is really important not to sell any of your athletics awards, for example, rings, watches, iPads, clothing, that are given to you by the Iowa Athletics Department, Big Ten, or NCAA. Selling these items while you have eligibility remaining can result in loss of competition and required repayment. If you do not like the gear that you got from the Big Ten Championships, give it to a family member. Don't sell it on eBay.
It's important we attract the highest level student and athlete at the University of Iowa. However, if you're acting as a student host for recruits while they're visiting our campus, you need to be aware of the rules affecting your interactions with these individuals. You have a responsibility to not only show the recruit a good time in Iowa City, but to be a good ambassador for your sport program and the University of Iowa. You've had the opportunity to review the student host guidelines when you completed your certification paperwork. Discuss these guidelines with your coach prior to hosting a recruit on an official visit. If you receive a student host allowance, this money may not be given to the recruit, and it may not be used to purchase souvenirs for the recruit, such as a t-shirt or other Hawkeye gear. The money may be used only for the entertainment and snacks for yourself and the prospect. Have a great time, and go Hawks!
If you have any questions about anything presented in today's video, please contact the Iowa Athletics Compliance Office at S240 Carver Hawkeye Arena or by phone at 319-335-9598, by email at compliance@hawkeyesports.com. Thank you for your attention during the presentation and have a great season.